another episode of Big Apple Breakdown. Today is our last episode just in the studio. Today we'll be covering the Knicks, who might be on the verge of pulling off an upset, both the Yankees and Mets, and more. Henry, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. How you doing, Johnny?
Good. We actually have our first partnership. Henry.
Yeah, first ad read. So I want to thank the guys at Dugout Mugs for partnering with us. So here we go. Baseball fans, listen up. If you love the game as much as we do, you need to check out Dugout Mugs. They turn actual baseball bats into mugs, wine glasses, shot glasses, and more. It all started with a simple idea from a former ball player who wanted to keep the spirit of the game alive off the field. Now, Dugout Mugs are the go-to for fans who want to drink straight from the barrel of a bat. Every mug is made from real wood with custom options of your favorite team, special message, or even a personal design. Hey, if you want to get Big Apple Breakdown logo on there, maybe we could get something like that worked out. Whether you're tailgating, watching the game, or searching for the perfect gift, Dugout Mugs had you covered. So here's what you need to do. Click the link in the description or in our bio in our link tree and use the promo code Big Apple. That's Big Apple to get 20% off site-wide. Big Apple, 20% off site-wide. Thank you.
Get your Dugout Mugs. Let's go.
Let's go.
Before we get into the details of this episode, just want to go over what will happen this summer. So we don't have this studio as we are leaving school, going home for the summer. Henry's graduating. Congratulations to Henry. But we obviously won't have the quality of microphones and cameras that the studio lets us use. But we plan on getting mics. I think this summer we'll be able to host some more shorter episodes and give you guys actually even more content. So a lot of really exciting stuff coming there.
I think in a sense it'll be better because throughout the week we're kind of confined to this studio space at a certain time. It's not the best for putting out content when it's happening. So a lot of times we get to some things a little late. But when we're home, it'll be more optimal where if something happens, we can just hop on and talk about it and get it right out to you guys. So, and we'll definitely be more active on the TikTok, the Reels, just like short videos for you guys, Twitter. So yeah,
be sure to follow all of those. All right,
thank you guys for all the support. We've been really gaining a lot of traction lately. So thank you guys.
Yeah, let's get into it. So let's start off with a little Knicks. So the Knicks pulled off a bit of a Game 1 upset. They beat the Boston Celtics in overtime with a 20-point comeback win, one of the largest comebacks in franchise history for the Knicks. So my question is, what are the odds Knicks can pull off this upset in the series, 1 through 10? What are you going with?
I'm going to go – you can't say 7 because that's 2 in the middle.
Oh!
But I actually think that it's better than what people think. I've been joking since before Game 1 to you, at least, not anything on the air, saying Knicks in 6. But a lot of people want to point out that the Celtics had a bad shooting performance and just overall had a bad game. But the Knicks also didn't play up to their level. They missed a ton of free throws. Like Mitchell Robinson, if he's making his free throws.
Bridges didn't shoot
well. And
Cat didn't play
well. Cat didn't play well. Cat doesn't have to be the mainstay offensively, but he can't. Like watching that game, late in the game, he's letting guys like Jaylen Brown out-rebound him. You got to put a body on a guy like Jaylen Brown and box him out. I know Cat's more of a finesse-type big, but he's not the guy offensively, so he has to show up in other ways. And he's not asked to be the guy offensively, so, like, he's got to give them what he can offensively and show up in other areas. So I want to say more than 6, but less than 7.
So I think there's I'm going to go a 30% chance, and I think it's a lot more to do with the Celtics than the Knicks because the Celtics are so banged up. Drew Holiday's missed games. Tatum's missed games. Jaylen Brown did not look good at all.
And Porzingis might be out.
Porzingis, was it an illness?
Illness, yeah.
It's always something. That guy is just a plus if you get him on the court at this point of his career. But it's honestly what I've noticed a lot that's happened in the NBA this last few years. These dominant teams just get really hurt by injuries a lot of the times in the playoffs, and it kind of seems like the Celtics are starting to like just turn into a Band-Aid team. And if they're really banged up, honestly, then this series can get really interesting. I wonder how the Knicks play in the Garden. If the Garden's going crazy, which it will, and the Knicks could win there, then they really could have the chance of pulling off an upset. And like I said, I'm just really worried about the Celtics. Just their health-wise, they don't look like the same team as last year. And besides Derek White, no one of that core is close to 100%. And, of course, at this time of the year, nobody's really 100%, but a lot of those guys are really starting to worry me. And look, Jason Tatum's a superstar, but when he has to carry a team and it's all the pressure's on him, that's where you kind of start seeing his flaws, in my opinion.
The Celtics, obviously the defending champions from last year, but even last year, I feel like they kind of had an easy path to the finals. They were the favorite all the time, and the Knicks are kind of this underdog, greedy team. Yes, they don't have a lot of the playoff experience, but OG Anunoby is a champion. Mikal Bridges has played in the finals, and people want to, I don't know, kind of flack the Knicks for not having anyone else step up besides Brunson really throughout the regular season, but they have their other lower tier role player type guys who just haven't shown up. Mikal Bridges is supposed to be that guy. OG Anunoby is supposed to be that guy. Yeah, and
OG Anunoby played great.
And OG Anunoby did play great, and we saw Mikal Bridges step up late. But even if Brunson hits that shot to end the game, it's a game winner. Knicks win and all that. But we're still not talking about Mikal Bridges as well as we are now because he didn't have that. He wouldn't have had that overtime period.
He didn't put up like great numbers at all. But he was so effective,
and he made winning plays. So but you know what I mean? Where I'm saying that if he didn't have that, we wouldn't be talking about Mikal Bridges in a good light.
And hypothetically, when the Knicks made that Mikal Bridges trade, I know they just matched up so bad against Boston in the regular season, but you think about it, they have Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby. Those are two wings that can match up really well with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And I wonder, man, regular season playoffs are a different breed. I wonder if now it's different because I saw a lot of Knicks fans talking about this, like that are diehard. And they match out every single time they played the Celtics in the regular season. Like they said, I know this sounds corny, but we found something. We thought we were getting closer. And they went 0-4 against the regular season. But here they are pulling out an upset in game one. And now you got a legit shot. I'm not calling them the favorites, but you're going to have 2 games at the Garden to at least make it 2-2 to make it best of 3.
And as the underdog, you already stole one. You know, it's the old saying that a series doesn't start until the away team wins. And yeah, that's kind of corny, whatever, but like if that's what you live by, hey, the series has started.
By the way, crazy NBA stat, first time ever where 5 in the second round or more, where 5 straight times the road teams won. The road team's 5-0 in this series so far, which is crazy.
There's been, 3 buzzer beaters?
There's been some crazy. Aaron Gordon, Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton's a dog.
Yeah,
my God. Yeah, there's been some crazy games. A lot of good stuff going on in the NBA.
But of course, this episode's gonna come out after Game 2.
Yeah, so
by the time it's out,
I'm gonna assume the Knicks lose. There's just no way they go up 2-0.
They shouldn't. Of course, they shouldn't.
If they do, oh my God.
If they shouldn't, but if they do, oh my, yeah.
1-1 headed back to the Garden. You love where you're at.
Yeah, and I'm not even a Knicks fan, and in the past, I feel like I could have been a Knicks hater almost, but I'm excited. And Jalen Brunson, like, dude, he's
awesome to watch.
He's just this underdog.
He's turning in. If he pulls this off, man, and I'm looking at the camera, say this, he has a chance to be the greatest Knick ever over Patrick Ewing.
Yes, and he doesn't really even have a ceiling. Like he just
pulls it off.
Yeah,
he just got a really good mentality, and he's honestly 6'1" is generous for his height. It's crazy how it's a great story, just Jalen Brunson in general. How he really was a bench player for Dallas, really started improving, and became an awesome player.
The Heat the Knicks
got.
Oh
my God, they got
him,
that contract.
But they were like, "Oh, this is the guy you're going to get. This is the guy you're giving your money to."
Yeah,
and he's really just proved everyone wrong.
Everything and more for them. So really looking forward to seeing how that series plays out. Henry, do we get a voicemail before we get into some baseball?
Yes, sir.
Hey, this is Tom from East Rutherford. Look, the Giants. You look at the defensive line and the pick they pick with Carter and the kid from Toledo, they look like they're going to be pretty good. The problem I have is this regime looks like it's not for long. And if next year they're gone and they have Jackson Dart on the team, don't you think if they finish in their top 10 picks next year, which is a distinct possibility if you look at their schedule, don't you think they might pick another quarterback next year with the class that's coming out? I could see it happen. Let me know your thoughts.
Thanks for the call. Yeah, I totally could see that. I mentioned this last week how because they took Jackson Dart at pick 25 and not pick 3 or let's say or top 10, really if this regime gets fired, they go 3-14. Assuming this regime gets fired, Dart probably plays a few games, doesn't look great. You're sitting in a world where, hey, let's just flip this guy for a day 2 pick and let's take the quarterback we love. That happens. That's not the end of the world to me.
What if, though, the Giants have a horrible season, like 3 to 5 wins, but Dart comes in towards the end of the season and looks phenomenal?
It's rare that happens. I mean, I guess the Patriots are doing it right now.
Well, you
with Drake May.
you would think that if he's looking phenomenal in game, he would come in earlier, and they wouldn't have 3 to 5.
You would assume
You know?
I feel like you would just assume those guys would stay. Honestly, if Dart looks really good and they don't look
Just
good
because-
record-wise,
Yes,
because
the
quarterback's the most important part of the team.
And if he's playing well, I feel like you got to keep them. I don't know.
But no, I agree. But there's totally a world where the Giants have a top 10 pick and Archie Manning's available. Nico, the guy that transferred from Tennessee.
Oh,
forget his last name.
I don't even know
Yeah,
how to pronounce
but
his last
I saw
name.
he's a top 10 pick. One of those guys are available, and you hire the new guy, falls in love with it. Happens a decent amount. Just a few years ago, Cliff Kingsbury took the Cardinals job.
And
They took
Kyler
Kyler Murray, traded Josh Rosen for a day 2 pick. Could happen. And like I said, I just don't mind it because he was the 25th overall pick. So, look, if you find out he's not your franchise quarterback and you really like a top 10 potential quarterback, take him.
It's not even like Josh Rosen was not good. He was horrible.
Yeah, hopefully he's not Josh Rosen.
One of the worst quarterbacks we've ever seen
Yeah.
get drafted in the first round. But I also feel like, obviously, Shane and Dable have been dealt a bad hand. But if you almost have to let them see this through.
I agree.
Because that would put the Giants in a worse situation if Dart shows any promise and then you move off Dable and Shane next year and then they move off Dart. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's just a tough situation.
But if they have another year like they did this year, where this year was one of the worst years of their franchise ever, if that's another year, these guys aren't surviving.
Yeah, you'd have to imagine that's not
and
going to happen.
then that means that whoever comes in chooses the new quarterback at that point. But let's move on to some Yankee talk. So we're almost a quarter of the way through the season, I'd say. Yankees been a bit of a skid, but they're still 2.5 games up in first place. I think that has more to do with the shockingly bad American League East so far this year. How do you feel about the Yanks so far?
It's just frustrating. Like you mentioned, the 2.5 game on Boston right now for the East. We should, we've blown five games in the 8th.
Let's say we win
later.
3 of those.
3 of those, yes. We would have a
23 and 13.
5-game lead. Our record would be looking better. A lot of, I know Williams has been catching a lot of the heat, but I feel like Boone has been catching a lot of the heat too. But Boone shows time and time again that he makes just these horrible decisions. I want to take you back to the game Monday night against San Diego. So Fernando Cruz comes in the 7th inning with 2 outs. He throws 2 pitches. He gets the out. Boone moves off of Cruz to Devin Williams with a 3-run lead in the 8th. And Boone's reasoning for it was that Devin Williams pitched 2 innings on Saturday, 2 days prior. But then Tim Hill, the same night on Monday, went out and pitched a full inning. On Saturday, he pitched an inning and 2/3. So I feel like he's just feeding people an excuse and being like, take it. That's what you get. I don't know. It's just frustrating because he does this all the time. And he almost, from a fan's perspective, feels like he's talking down on the fan who is
intelligent,
giving him a hard time. Where Yankee fans aren't dumb. We know baseball, and I don't know. I've been watching baseball my whole life. I feel like that's just a sorry excuse.
Yeah. My thing that's frustrating with the Yankees is if you look at their run differential, I think they have the 2nd or 3rd best in the league, and their record should be better if you look at run differential. So they're front runners. When they kick teams' asses, they win by 9 or 10 runs. But I feel like they've lost so many winnable games, whether it's blown games or games they just were a hit or 2 away from winning. Until yesterday, we were 0-16 when trailing in the 7th inning or later. That's pretty bad. Yeah, and I don't know how that happens because I get of course hypothetically, when you're losing in the 7th inning or later, and you're trailing at any point, you're not going to win the game.
Yeah.
But we haven't had one comeback win later on.
Yeah,
in the game.
and I
Until
remember
yesterday.
I know a lot of people have been bringing up that point, and then it felt kind of refreshing to have that game yesterday. And I mean, the Yankees just poured it on, 10 runs in that 7th inning.
I feel like that's all this team does, though.
They batted around.
It's either they're all going or none of them.
Yes.
Unless it's Aaron Judge.
And also the good is really good and the bad is really bad. I know we put out a post today that Volpe's been heating up in his last 10 games, batting about 300, and even Wells the last couple games has been heating up. But for the most part, it's been like Judge, Rice, Goldschmidt, not much else, and in the pitching department, it's been Fried and then as of late Rodon, and not much else. Clark Schmidt looked really good last night, and Fernando Cruz out of the bullpen has looked really good. But even Weaver's been a little up and down.
Yeah.
And Devin Williams has
Who's
just been
been
horrible.
awful. Just this guy sucks. I mean, I can't believe how bad he is. He's almost getting to the point where he's unpitchable.
He is unpitchable, but again, to my point about the San Diego game 1, he shouldn't be in that high of leverage of a situation.
Is 3-0 high leverage in the 8th inning?
But the way he's been pitching, the way he's been getting hit,
he's got to be better.
You should. Cruz has given up 3 earned runs all year. You should keep him in. He threw 2 pitches in the 7th. Keep him in the 8th, and then yesterday after we pour on the 10-run inning and we're up by 9 runs, that's when you bring Devin Williams in.
I get your point about like blaming Boone, but how could you blame Boone when this guy's been so bad? Boone thought he was getting one of the best closers in baseball. You're still gonna try to find ways to get this guy back, and he actually had a 2-3 game stretch where he looked decent. I'm not mad at him for that. This guy's just got to be better.
He does have to be better.
He's unplayable almost.
And if you look at all his metrics, like his fastball's down like 1 mile per hour, but everything else is pretty much the same as it was last year. So what? Maybe it's
a mental thing.
No, maybe it's just been a fluke. Him being good last couple years has been a fluke.
He can't pitch in New York to me. I think it's seriously you're gonna have to consider that this guy cannot handle the big lights. It's not like he chose to come to the Yankees. He just got traded here.
He thought he was going to get traded to the Dodgers.
Well, how would he have done better there, first off? I guess it's a little different.
They're
a
lot more fair weather,
what,
honestly.
number 2?
But they're I don't know.
It's
LA,
a little different.
LA fans
They're celebrity fans, so
LA
it's
fans are
different.
pretty
You're
fair
right.
weather.
You're
I
right,
don't know.
actually.
But
they're not crazy.
it's not even that the market. It's not the point of the market I'm trying to make. I don't think he wanted to be in New York. I think he wanted to be in LA. I don't know.
Then let's trade the guy.
But what are we gonna get for him? We're not gonna get
anything. You have to take the L, honestly.
Yeah.
Which they're not gonna do yet. Of course, you have
Of course not.
Couple months until the trade deadline. You're gonna try to get this guy back, but it gets to a point where this guy's just gonna start hurting your team. How is it
start
every
hurting the
year?
team?
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. He has already hurt the team. We've lost what? Purely, how many of those losses are just on him? I don't know if are all 5.
That's
I don't know if all 5
a good question.
are.
I mean,
they
know
might
off the top of my head.
We've lost so many games just because of him, and it's ridiculous. And I don't know how this happens every year. I feel like whether it's Clay Holmes or Aroldis Chapman the years before, are we just cursed because since Mariano Rivera left? I'm starting to think that.
Well, comparing any pitcher in the history of baseball to Mariano Rivera is just unfair to that pitcher.
But it's not like Clay Holmes, I'll give them a little pass for it because not Clay Holmes.
Clay Holmes was a project, and they turned him to a really good reliever.
We've tried to get these the star closers, and it just has not worked.
Chapman was really good for.
Chapman was
2
awesome
years.
for a bit, yes, but he choked in the biggest moments.
Yes.
That's the worst part. And then,
but also Houston was stealing signs in that that Altuve home run. So
he also gave that home run against the Rays that we lost Game 5 of 2020.
I mean, the thing that
was
really
on the Yankees, but the Rajay Davis.
Yeah, the thing that really frustrates me about Chapman was the way it ended. What was it? The 22 playoffs.
When he refused
to go to the workout or whatever, and then he was left off the roster. That's what frustrates me with Chapman. But when he was good, he was really, really good.
Yeah. I don't know. Yankees should be so much better than what they are.
They should be. And I don't know. I know I made that TikTok the other day about Gleyber Torres and was talking about Jazz Chisholm. I'm not saying that we should have Gleyber Torres right now. I'm saying that you look at those 2 guys and they have their own problems. Torres, it's not hustling, whatever. Jazz, I feel like his approach is bad, and him going tweeting, and then him going and tweeting during games, and no one in the Yankee organization is held accountable.
it's kind of funny the way. Okay, so
And what is this on Judge for not being a good captain? Is this on Boone for not
these guys
being a
gotta-
good leader? I get it. These guys are adults, but Torres was 21 when he came up, and no one ever held him accountable. Jazz is coming from a bad situation in Miami. Seems like he needs some guidance, and no one's putting their arm out to.
Jazz Chisholm is clearly the Kevin Durant type guy who reads all the comments about him online.
Yeah,
Clearly, he's got to be that type.
yeah, because he can't stay off Twitter. All he does is tweet.
It's bad.
Like,
and
you can't be tweeting during a game. You should know better. I am a fan, and I know that players aren't allowed to tweet during games.
I just don't get how these guys are on social media. Like you gotta just stay off that stuff, man.
Like, you can go on, say whatever you want.
Have a burner.
I mean, people that get caught professional athletes that get caught up with burners. I don't like. I obviously it's not a big deal, but like, I don't know. I feel like they catch a lot of
Durant. That's the number
him
one.
and the guy at the 76ers.
Oh, that was the GM.
What?
That was Eldon Brand, the GM.
Yes.
That's a crazy one too, when he was talking down about his own players. But the you know what's kind of fun? So I'm still very anti. We shouldn't have brought Torres back. But the way he's produced offensively compared to Jazz, it's almost like they've swapped in a way. Torres is hitting less home runs, has a higher average, which you kind of saw last year towards the second half of the year into the postseason. Jazz is a home run or nothing guy, and I don't. Too many guys in the Yankees are like this dude.
Yes, and that's why the production we've been getting from Volpe is nice. It's refreshing because he's playing the way we thought he would be playing. In his last 10 games, it was the stat I pulled was that he's hitting like 333. He only has 1 home run, but he has 5 doubles.
I don't need the home runs.
Yes,
on this team,
you
you
don't need the home runs. You need someone that can find the gap and be a doubles machine.
So, all right, what's more important to address? Third base or starting pitching for the trade deadline? I'm kind of leaning starting pitching.
Yeah, starting pitching
because
for sure.
We're
because
really lacking it.
A third baseman's not going to win you a game, but a starting pitcher can win you a game.
I think they're going to choose starting pitching over third baseman to dress because they just caught Cookie Carrasco. Will Warren, he's just like, look, I don't mind his stuff. He has moments where he looks good, but he's not as reliable.
And he doesn't really have confidence.
No.
Third, I feel like Oswaldo Cabrera at third base is a fine option for now. I
want to address it still.
I think George Lombard could get expedited and be up next year. And I think that's what they're waiting for.
Oh, that means you're going into. Okay, look, we're talking. Sounds like down the Yankees, but I look at the American League, man. They should win this thing. Look around the American League, dude. It just does. The AL Central. There's 3 teams. I just briefing. There's 3 20-win teams. None of them scare me. The American League West. You know what team's actually pretty good? The A's.
Yeah.
Which is surprising. The Mariners up there.
I saw something
Boston's hasn't been great at all.
They haven't. I saw something that the Yankees should look to trade for Luis Severino, get him back.
Imagine.
Because I mean, the A's ultimately are gonna just probably implode on themselves. Yes. They always do. But I find it interesting that even in this past offseason, I feel like a lot of the talk around the Yankees, and it's been heating up this past week, is about next offseason. I don't know. Like the 2025 offseason going to 2026.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's been a talking point even since like this past December.
It totally has been.
Obviously, Michael King came back to pitch against the Yankees the other day, and that really heated up some discussions. I've been seeing this debate online if the Yankees only have the money for one guy, will they go get King or will they go get Kyle Tucker? Like,
I would prefer Kyle Tucker.
But
dude, Kyle Tucker's awesome.
But my point,
it's different money.
It is different money.
They should go all out for Kyle Tucker.
Well, Kyle Tucker, I can't even talk today. Kyle Tucker might get $500 million, $400 million, and Michael King will probably get like 200.
Yeah. So I saw a report about King. I think I sent it to you where King could go back to the Yankees and he wants to be on the East Coast. And I asked an anonymous source about this who has connections, and he said I've heard that too. I'm gonna try to get more about it, but he's not that close with the mates because the source was that Michael King's wife wants to be back in the East Coast. That's what John Heyman. I read a whole article about it.
That's your source?
Well, John Heyman. I mean, you're right. But I asked someone we know who has connections, and he doesn't know.
But like, to my point, I feel like next offseason has been a talking point more than even like what's in front of us right now, which is this season or the game tonight or the game tomorrow. Like,
you're right, which is just frustrating because this team, I really think this team's gonna win the American League again. I watched them. Their offense has been surprisingly really good, and the pitching, I think their pitching concerns won't be as big of a deal because you're gonna have Max Fried pitch, who's looked awesome, who is gonna win the American League Cy Young if he keeps this up. Carlos Rodon, who I don't love as number 2, but hey, we're hard on the guy when he's bad. We got to give him credit when he's good. He's been awesome.
And if he's like how he has been the last 4 starts, he might get himself in the Cy Young discussion.
Yeah, he's not going to keep that
yes,
up.
he's not going to.
Clark is a fine number 4 in the playoff setting. So what I would like to see this team do is go out the trade deadline and get a right-handed pitcher that's coming up to be free agent this year. So a Cease or a King. But I'm kind of skeptical the
Padres are going to be too
good
to trade one of those guys. Also,
even though they probably should because they're not going to re-sign them.
Yes.
But I wonder if this team, like I've thought of this, that this team's just going to do a last dance type thing, go all out. Because they're not going to be able to afford.
Sandy Alcantara has been really bad this year. He's like an 8
Really?
ERA. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I remember in the beginning of the year when
we were talking about it.
and people were talking about him to the Yankees or the Mets. And then I feel like that all just vanished. And then I was just like watching something and they were like, Alcantara has been really bad. He has like an 8 ERA. And now I just looked it up and he does.
Wait, what about Nick Pavelta? Is he?
Oh, Pivetta?
Yeah, Pivetta. I don't know if he'll be available.
I don't think he will. And when he played for the Red Sox, he was really bad. And I watched this in a preview for their game on Monday. A lot of people attributed it to him pitching in the AL East and the hitter-friendly ballparks. So I don't think that's even a guy that would like size up for.
I mean, he's looked
Yankees
good.
State. He has, but like
Padres,
but in the NL West, you're playing in like Dodger Stadium.
That's true.
San Francisco, the Padre Stadium. Those are much more pitcher-friendly ballparks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point with him. I mean, I just want to see a right-handed pitcher added eventually, because like I said, I think their pitching pitching struggles, their depth, which in the playoffs it doesn't matter as much. Of course, you have 3.
Also,
you have 1 awesome starter and 2 reliable ones, I'd say.
So like we're talking about playoffs and looking ahead. That's another reason why I think Boone's decision to pull Fernando Cruz after 2 pitches is head scratching, because he's saying that he doesn't want to overwork the guy. But when you get to the playoffs, your bullpen's everything, and you're gonna have to overextend some guys, and it's like you can't hold guys back in that situation.
I mean, they might have to add bullpen.
You have to be ready for that
because the bullpen's been a struggle. They've just losing them games mainly because of one guy, but you might have to add to it.
Yes, but Fernando Cruz has been one of the guys that's been really good.
They should pitch him more.
And yes, they should exactly. They should pitch him more, and they shouldn't pull him from games after 2 pitches. They should put him back out there.
That's frustrating to see.
So I don't know.
We have another voicemail before we talk some Mets.
This is one of the ones from last week that I missed.
Hello, Big Apple Breakdown. This is Julie Rodon again. My beautiful son Carlos. That's 3 in a row. You'll be on his bandwagon before you know it. Let's go, Yankees.
And make it 4 in a row that actually got blown. It got blown by Devin Williams, yeah. But Carlos Rodon has been really good, and I got on the bandwagon after last week, so I am on the bandwagon.
I'm gonna give the guy credit when he pitches well, but I just see more consistency, and that's the worst part about him, that he just will implode. And look, if Carlos Rodon ends up fulfilling his contract and leading the Yankees to a World Series, then I will shut up about all the props in the world.
Of course.
But I just really don't expect that to happen. And look, I don't care if I'm wrong about him being bad. Like it's I don't care.
Yeah,
like, I want him to be good.
And also, like, this industry we're trying to break into, you're gonna be wrong.
Yes,
so.
You're gonna be wrong. I hope he's good, but everything I see, I just don't trust it.
Let's play this other voicemail, and this will get us right into the Mets talk.
All right.
Hey boys, it's Lou from New Jersey. Love this show. Got a question for you. Juan Soto. He's getting on base a lot, but he's off to a slow start. Can he make it up? At the end of the year, is he hitting better than 300? Does he have more than 30 home runs? Or is his first season as a Met going to be underwhelming? What do you think?
Thanks for the call. That also was from last week, I believe. I think I missed it. Soto's been looking better. He's got his average up to 250. The Mets, he had his first multi-home run game last week, and in that game, the Mets lost 4-2 to the Diamondbacks, I believe. And I'm just gonna lay it out like
He
this.
has 2 home runs today.
What?
He has 2 home runs in a game right now.
Oh, really?
too,
Okay.
so.
I'm gonna lay it out like this. If Juan Soto ever hits 2 home runs in a game, and the Mets hold the opposing team to 4 runs, the Mets should never lose that game.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's
and they
true.
did, and they lost it
Uh-huh.
4-2. So.
But Mets have been really good. Soto.
They've been falling as of late a little bit.
Yeah.
Bit of a skid, but also some of that might be that hey, maybe they had
starting
a
to play better teams.
weaker start.
They're
start
definitely
of
starting to
their
play better
schedule.
teams.
So
And the Braves and Phillies starting to. Braves are up to only
Mhm.
1 game under 500 after that horrendous start. As far as Soto, yeah, you just gotta face the reality. He's not gonna hit above 300, and 30 home runs is a good, I would say, good ballpark. So he's gonna be at 7. He's probably right around that range. So, what if he's 270, 30 home runs? Is that underwhelming? And that's one to argue.
no, we're not even to mid-May yet. He's gonna heat up.
know.
He's gonna get going. And I don't know if you remember with the Yankees.
He's not hitting 300.
with the Yankees last year. He was hitting over 300 for most of the year, but I think he ended the season at like 280 something.
He's not gonna hit 300.
So he's not gonna hit 300, and he doesn't need to hit 300. I don't think he's.
No.
I don't think he's. Maybe 1 year with the Nationals he hit 300.
I
but
think
I don't.
the 2020 year he hit 300.
Okay.
So
But the COVID year,
yeah,
right?
COVID year.
And we know Soto gets off to
Uh-huh.
these hot starts, and he usually sustains them. 280 is in today's baseball is very good, especially for someone who hit 41 home runs last year. So that's all you're asking for him. 280, 40 home runs. I know that's that's really good,
Yeah,
but like he doesn't need it. He doesn't need to go over 300.
You're right. So, but I mean, the Mets have continued to play well. They got a harder schedule coming up. They're in a little bit of a skid as well as they've lost. They've gone 4-6 in their last 10. I believe they play the Phillies again soon. They just play the Diamondbacks. But again, the pitching's still been really good for the Mets. I kind of feel like with the Mets, I'm just waiting for that starting pitching to really go downhill. Will it happen? Not sure. You assume it eventually will slow down.
But also, you assume that they're gonna start getting guys back.
Well, Alonso's been great. Lindor's been great.
Like in the pitching.
Oh yeah,
department.
Manaeus, Montas. I don't know when Montas come back. I don't. Manaea, I'm not sure either. But eventually those guys will be back. But yeah. I mean, this team looks good though. I mean, they're first place in the National League East. I don't think you still could have really asked for much of a better start if you're a Mets fan, considering the injuries that happened, the starting pitching worries. You got to be pretty happy if you're a Mets.
Oh yeah,
fan,
you gotta be honestly over the moon. But if I'm not mistaken, it's a lot kind of like the Yankees, where some of these guys are showing up and the guys that are showing up every day, and the guys that aren't showing up, and it's not enough guys that are showing up in the lineup to lead to.
Yeah, I mean, Alonso's
success.
an MVP
Oh,
candidate at this
yes.
point. He's been just awesome for them.
Like he's hitting like 350.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know if I see that continuing. Lindor, he's getting hot. That's gonna stay. Soto will keep getting better, but again, I wonder how the bottom of the order can do. I don't think Mark Vangel's been great. Brandon Nimmo's only hitting 211. You expect those guys to start hitting better eventually. You expect the offense to be better overall for this team. The depth's a little suspicious. I know Luis Acuna.
He's hitting like
he's
300.
hitting pretty well since he's come up. He's a guy that you're gonna rely on. And Cody Sanga's have been really good this year, as he has a 1.38 ERA. So
Yeah,
he's been
Viento's batting 220.
yeah, you definitely expected better from Vientos, especially the year he had last year, postseason he had. You assume he'll heat up. We'll see.
And Nimmo's hitting 211.
Yeah, again, you expect
Yeah.
better with that.
And
So
even, especially in New York and in the Northeast as a whole, it's still cold up there. Maybe
it's still colder.
Maybe not
Yeah.
in the last like 2 weeks or so, but it is still colder up there than some of these other areas in the country. So like that just happens. These guys might not get hot for another week or two, but like that's just baseball, and that's just playing baseball in the Northeast.
Yeah, so
And also maybe that could be a reason why their pitching has been so well, that they're playing colder area right now, and
you're right. It's tough. It's
and
just
then
tough to
that
see
could
it.
it could flip flop. Their pitching could implode.
By Memorial Day weekend,
bats
the
could
weather
heat
gets
up.
warmer. You get into June, July. We'll see.
Have you been seeing still people just talking about how unhappy Juan Soto looks
Yes,
there?
I've seen a lot of people say that, which is just it's a little odd to me that his Body language hasn't been better.
Mm.
Again, this could be a talking point, and I really think Mets fans are going to start getting really annoyed. I'm hoping for both sides that after this first series, he returns to Yankee Stadium, everyone can officially move on.
Yeah, but people aren't going to move on. I watched a video the other day, and I know I can maybe get caught up in the Juan Soto stuff too much, and I'm a little bit opposite of a typical Yankee fan who's saying, like, Juan Soto's dead to me, whatever, and I'm like, oh, I appreciate him for what he's done, and I still, like, really, like and appreciate what he did, and I still kind of have a soft spot for him. I watched a video of some of his big moments last year. You know that one moment where it's like a camera from like the third baseline coming in. He hits a home run. It's like him and then Judge in the batter's box.
Yeah,
and Judge is just like putting the hands up, and Soto throws the bat and is like, "Let's go!"
I've
like,
seen none of that with the Mets.
Yeah, because I don't know. He just felt happier and more, maybe like I don't know, because it's not like he's less loved by the Mets fans. He might be more loved by the Mets fans just because the Mets have never gone in and taken a free agent like this from the Yankees.
It's definitely a little odd. I really think that the series that's coming up, I think everyone can officially move on, and like this is reality now. Like this is what it is. Soto's a Met. You left the Yankees, but I wonder if years down the line, when we're almost 40, when he's done with the Mets, you will hear stories about how he wanted to go back to the Yankees, because it almost feels like that is the case, and it's very interesting.
That almost to me is like so heartbreaking because why? Like I wish.
I don't get it if that's the case. Like why? Because of his mom? Because of Boris?
I wish he just came back, and I know maybe the team overall, you wouldn't be able to feel as complete of a team, but like, oh my gosh, dude, that was just so special last year. Like,
I mean, yeah, but again, it was. Like,
I know
it was a 1 year thing. It was a really good year. I think I'm really excited to see the booze he's gonna get in about a week from when he returns to Yankee Stadium. I think it's gonna be just the craziest environment in the regular season baseball of the year for any team that year. I'm excited for that.
I am too. Should we finish off with voicemails?
Finish off voicemail then. I think that's it. A little shorter episode this week.
Yes, sir.
Busy with finals.
Gentlemen, this is Julie Rodon, and I'm very upset. Last week, you didn't air my call. Every week, you take that joker Chris from Rochester's calls, and he's a Met fan. But I'm a Yankee. I'm the mother of a Yankee. And don't screen my calls ever. Ever. Okay, I feel better now. Whew. Here's my question. Who makes the All-Star team from the Yankees? Aaron and that Max Fried guy are obvious choices. But who else can make the team? Don't forget my Carlos. 4 good games in a row. Love the show.
Thanks for the call. We aired. That's on me. I forgot to. We got to the end of the show last week, and I forgot to air the rest of the calls. We aired yours from last week today, but so obviously Fried and Judge. I think at this point Goldschmidt's got to be a shoo-in.
Yeah, Ben Rice. I mean, that's kind of crazy. Those two. How's Weaver's stats looking? I don't know if they got hurt from.
I'll look. His last 2 outings, I believe, he hasn't been.
So I'm gonna check that real quick, but
great.
Definitely those two. Goldschmidt, you could, if he keeps this up. Maybe Ben Rice. I still don't think that one would happen.
I don't.
But I don't know. If only 3 All-Stars kind of feels light for a typical Yankees team with like this. Wells probably not in the.
No.
Cal Riley will make it, of course. I mean, Wells.
Oh, Grisham.
No, Grisham's not even a starter. Though, let's see Weaver's stats.
I mean, no, Grisham's played 30 games.
Henry Weaver's gonna make it. He has a .59 ERA.
Grisham's played 30 games. He's played enough games.
I don't think he'll get in. You have to keep in mind, one guy's got to get in each team.
He's played 30. Judge's played 36. Yeah,
I don't think more than 5 get in. I think 4 is a good guess. I'm gonna go Judge, Fried, Weaver, and I'm gonna go Goldschmidt.
Do you? I feel like this gets talked about a lot by non-baseball fans. Do you like the fact that every team gets an All-Star?
No.
Oh, I do. I feel like it's not even that like that those guys necessarily deserve it. It's just like representation of every team.
I think
know?
you just gotta choose the best players. Whether there's 9
like-
guys on one team, if that ninth guy might deserve it than somebody on the Rockies. Like the Rockies are gonna have an All-Star this year. The Rockies.
Yes,
are
and that's because
horrible.
I don't know. I feel like it's just like
I get it. Like you want to
like a-
represent them in the game. You want to get every fan base to have someone to cheer for.
so
I
like
get that
so like
point.
they just go like I don't know. It's more of just like a representation of the team. Like this guy goes to represent the Rockies, or this guy goes to represent the Pirates. I know the Pirates are obviously gonna have Paul Skeens as their All-Star, which
Yeah.
he would make it on any team probably.
But
like you know what I mean?
yeah, like the White Sox who
But-
have an All-Star.
Also, baseball can do it because the rosters are so big. Like,
Yeah.
like it wouldn't work in the NBA.
No, it's not the end of the world to me. Like, but like I would,
Mhm.
I don't think like someone on the Rockies this year. Like I don't think any of those guys deserve to be an All-Star or the White Sox. I don't know how anyone's like you're gonna choose guys that are just having bad years to be an All-Star. That's my thing about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do like the Major League All-Star Weekend in general. I love the Home Run Derby. I like it more than the other sports All-Star Weekend. So
Yeah, I mean,
there's other stuff to complain about.
The
for
NBA All-Star
Weekend.
Weekend,
It's horrible.
but
NFL's a joke.
it used to be good when we were like growing up, but I feel like it's really fallen
It's
off.
gone down.
And NFL's never really been good.
No.
The only time the NFL's ever been good was Sean Taylor just
Yeah, we were like 2
blowing
and 3
up
years old.
that punter. Yeah. Yeah, I obviously don't
legend.
remember it happening,
Yeah.
but I've seen the video many times. All right.
Hi, this is Chris from Rochester calling. With the NFL draft just happening, I was wondering who you would rank as some of the greatest undrafted free agents ever. As a Steeler fan, I think there's definitely 2 that are on the Steelers. Fast Willie Parker, who holds the record for the longest touchdown run in the Super Bowl, and James Harrison, who has the longest touchdown in the Super Bowl, and who I think was the best play in the Super Bowl, even though I know you'll say it was the Giants' David Tyree catch. What do you think? Let me know. Let's go Mets.
That's an
good
interesting
question.
question. Honestly, I mean, I know
Romo.
Romo,
was also
that's who I was just
undrafted.
gonna say.
I gotta think. Romo, I know was one. Wes Welker, I think was one. Yeah, he was
he?
one.
Wait, I just had one on the tip of my tongue.
I think Jason Peters was one too.
Was Kurt Warner drafted?
I don't think Kurt Warner was. That's probably one of the best. Warren Moon wasn't. Yeah, it's probably Kurt Warner. Because Kurt
Not
Warner was
drafted, yeah.
won a Super Bowl, had a great career. Warren Moon definitely was another undrafted one. I can't think of the Giants having great undrafted free agents.
Yeah, I can't think of any Jets.
Yeah, but
I mean,
you could find good players there.
if can't even draft well, how do you expect to
Yeah,
pick
exactly.
like undrafted guys well? I don't know.
Yeah, you got another one?
Yeah. Do you have anything to say?
No, I have something to say after. Turn it off.
Hey, how's it going there? This is George from South Carolina. I'm originally from Long Island, New York. I'm a big fan of the show. I'm calling about the Yankees bullpen. I have very grave concerns for the Yankees bullpen. Could someone explain to me why the Yankees keep parading out there Mark Leader Jr.? This guy sucks. Every time he comes in the game, this guy blows the game. I don't like this guy. I don't want him on my team anymore. This guy sucks. Why do the Yankees keep bringing out Mark Leader Jr.? Why? And don't get me started on Devin Williams. This guy, we gave up Nestor for this guy, the best closer in baseball. This guy sucks. I don't want him on my team either anymore. If you look closely, Judge is going to turn out to be one of the most generational players of all time. He already is. And what are we going to do to him? We're going to do a Don Mattingly to this guy and not give this guy a championship? Are we kidding right here? We'd be up by 6 games if this fucking bullpen wasn't so bad. Please, somebody call up Aaron Boone, Brian Cashman, get these 2 guys out here. I don't like Mark Leader Jr. I'll hang up and listen. Thank you.
Thanks for the call. Yeah.
I mean, Mark Leiter, I don't love either. I just don't really trust him. Like, he's all right. Like, I feel like he's in a lot of high leverage situations.
Yes, and when he's not in the high leverage situations, he's horrible. But especially down the stretch in the postseason last year, he was really good.
Somehow, yeah. He wasn't even on the roster originally.
Yes,
Ian Hamilton got hurt.
Hamilton got hurt, and then once you get hurt, you can't join the roster again the rest of the season. So he was
yeah,
awful.
I think Mark Leiter would get more hate if it wasn't for Devin Williams being this bad.
Also, if he was more of a high leverage type arm, if he was a setup man or a closer, obviously.
Yeah, that's true.
Like he's
But I
not asked to do
kind
that
of
much.
feel like he gets more high leverage moments than Fernando Cruz, which I'd much rather see that switch at this point. Hamilton, I'd rather see get him. Mark Leiter's pitching a lot. I feel like he's almost pitching every time I turn the TV on.
Yes. Fernando Cruz feels almost like that project that the Yankees got this year that's going to turn out to be a stud and like a really good get for them. And he's been so good. They gotta pitch him more.
Yeah, the bullpen's a massive concern at this point. And the main blame is Devin Williams because the Yankees fans dreamed of having that Devin Williams, Luke Weaver combination, which all Yankee fans dream of. You know, Mariano Rivera didn't start off as a closer. We thought we had that 8-9. And Devin Williams has just been unplayable. It's just ridiculous. And these bullpen, like the caller's right, we've lost 5 games because of it already, and that's just ridiculous.
And not to drag even more on Devin Williams, because obviously he's been getting
drag more on him.
He's been getting so much hate, but you could make the argument that his bad play is rubbing off on some of the other guys in the bullpen in the sense that because he had to get demoted from closer, and that when he gets demoted from closer and he's going in a different situation, that changes everyone's position in the bullpen. So now you're putting Weaver in situations that he didn't think he was going to be in.
Mark Leiter Jr.
And Mark Leiter Jr. in situations he didn't think he was going to be in. Everyone, it changes the whole entire way that you put out the bullpen. It changes everyone's spot in the bullpen. So
And no, totally. And you know, Mark Leiter Jr. would normally pitch maybe the 7th inning or 6th inning, but now it's Luke. Now he's pitching the 8th inning because Devin Williams, you don't want to put in high leverage situations, so you're putting a guy like Mark Leiter Jr. who his role on the team isn't really supposed to be a high leverage guy. Like I said last year, he wasn't even on the playoff roster. Yeah,
if you just flip flop Williams and Weaver, then I could see people making the argument that it shouldn't affect anyone else. But
Weaver's not. I mean, Williams isn't pitching.
Yes.
At all.
So you put what Williams maybe comes in after the starter now, and like I literally just said, you're just moving everyone.
You're almost scared
to
put Devin Williams in if the game's within a save opportunity. It's insane.
It's Clay Holmes ish.
Worse.
I remember
Clay Holmes was a good setup man last year.
And I just remember it was early on in the school year, like very late last year. It was a game against the Rangers.
Oh my God!
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Walk-off grand slam.
Yes, and he goes in. I'm just like sitting.
Doom.
I'm sitting there in my bed. I'm watching something else, and I just have the game on in the background. And once he goes in, like in my head, I'm like, all right, the Yankees are playing really well. He goes in. I was like, almost immediately in my brain, I'm like, we lost this game.
That's my feeling with Devin
And no
Williams.
one was even on base. No one. He hadn't even thrown a pitch yet. And I'm just like, we lost this game. And we did.
I'm sick of having to hold my breath every single time this guy's in the game. This bullpen, if you have a bad bullpen, you're not going anywhere.
Yes.
Which is a team that could be good because their offense is better than I thought it would. And and Max Fried's been awesome. Carlos Rodon's been pitching well. Rodon pitched an awesome game, and the game got blown by the bullpen. You don't want to see that happen. It's just frustrating. Got to get the bullpen better. All right. Do we have any more phone calls?
No, that's all.
Well, Henry, I think the people liked your Shadur Sanders comments.
Oh, yes. That video did really well. People were going off about it. Also,
he's going to save Cleveland sports.
He might.
No, it's not.
The one thing that made me mad about that is the people in the comments saying you guys don't know what you're talking about. When it wasn't
because they said we weren't there.
Yes.
Like what?
Yes, we weren't there. But it's not even that we don't even have to know what we're talking about in that situation. Yeah. We're reading a report. Like a report from a reporter, and people are saying no, it's a lie, why would you believe it, you don't know, the reporter doesn't know, he wasn't there. The reporter's from Todd McShay. Todd McShay is one of the most credible reporters in the NFL sports media, and his livelihood is predicated on putting out reliable information,
clearly someone in the Giants building,
inside information. And if he is going out and spewing lies to the media, to the world, to you guys, he's uncredible and he doesn't have a job.
Yes.
Like his whole job is predicated on him being reliable.
And so I think it's funny when people were saying that it's always 30-year-olds hating on a young kid when Shadur Sanders is older than both of us.
Yes, I'm 22 years old.
I'm 21.
Like, I
They
get
probably
it.
talk about you
I
as
get
a
it.
third-year-old.
I get it. Maybe I look a little older, but
we
yeah.
could I don't. Shadur Sanders has some haters, which I've called out for that people hate him too much, but he also has some fanboys that
yes,
are a little
people that
ridiculous.
love him, and
Yes.
yeah,
and
you know.
now I'm kind of in the middle with that. I'm really starting to see his negatives, and look, he's not going to do anything with the Browns.
I don't think he is either. I mean, I don't want to be rude. I wish the guy the best, but
He's a fifth-round pick for a reason. He got
Yes.
passed up all this time for a reason.
and he's not a fifth-round pick because of his talent. He's a fifth-round pick because of his character and how he carries himself.
And his draft interviews.
Yes.
But I think we'll leave it off
Yeah.
there. But thank you guys so much for watching our podcast grow in the studio. We look really forward to giving you guys more content this summer. Want to thank the University of Kentucky for giving us the studio. And we'll see you guys next week.
It's been unbelievable when we started this. I mean, we've done different variations of this podcast in the past, but it's been unbelievable to see our growth from January till now. And that's all to you guys for following us on our social medias and for watching the video. So, yeah, thank you. And again, follow us everywhere. We're not done. We're not even close to done. We're just getting started. We're just getting started. We're going to keep pushing out all this different types of content for you guys. So, like, comment, subscribe, follow us everywhere, and let's do this.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.